Hey everybody, hope everybody's well and looking after themselves and staying safe, keeping yourself busy during lockdown. I know I am. I just wanted to make a video on the subject of on working from home, one of my life hacks series. So a lot of you have found yourself working at home for the first time, and it's a bit of an unusual situation. And also, I think coming through the other side of the coronavirus and the lockdown that obviously this has put upon us all, I think that you're going to find a lot of you working from home a lot more, because I think a lot of businesses now are realising that they can slim down their outgoings and their costs by having people who are able to work from home, and therefore reduce the need for office space, which obviously they've got to pay for. At least some of the time. I know Facebook there's been mumblings around Facebook that they're going to have a lot more people working from home, and a lot of businesses, I think will find that they're going to be doing that. And this can be a double-edged sword, because obviously it's great for them because they're reducing their costs, and if they can get the workforce to work just as productively from home, then it's a win for them. And it can be a win for you, but you do need to think about what you're doing a little bit more. So this video is for people who are new to working from home, and people who've worked from home for a long time, because we've always got something to learn. So I thought I'd share a few hacks. Some of you be thinking, who the fuck's this guy to be telling me I work from home? What's he done that's so smart? Well, a lot of my working life, I've spent time working from home, working in sales and various other things where I've been, field based. So I've had to work from home as an office, and also I've been using this time to look at what the information that's out there, and what other people and other successful people have found useful. So all I'm doing is sharing my experience and sharing experiences with others, and I hope you find it useful. So cracking straight on with it. First thing, when you're setting up working from home, think about your how you're going to structure your day. So a plan is the first thing you're going to need, because if you don't plan, you're basically planning to fail. So sit down, structure your day, and put in there the specific tasks that you're going to want to accomplish for that particular day. Now, this needs to be done on the back of what your greater goal is for that week. So break your end game for that week down into your 5 working days, and then break your 5 working days down into individual structured tasks that you're going to do. Now, what you need to do when you're doing this is you need to also plan in breaks for food, breaks for rest, and also breaks for sitting down and checking your social media, because we all know when you're in your office, you take a sly look at Facebook and have a little bit of a look through. Now, if you can do this with impunity, because you're sat at your own office and you can just sit there scrolling through and watching videos of cats, you'll find that that's a real time burglar. So setting times throughout the day where you're going, okay, at 11 o'clock, I'm going to have a coffee, I'm going to have a snack, and that's when you do your checking social media. Don't get drawn into doing it the whole day long, or don't get doing it, I'm just going to have a quick look to see what's on there, because you'll find in your day it sucks a huge amount of your time away. Make sure that you're structuring things like your emailing, and if you need to contact any particular clients or colleagues, make sure you structure them in, because it's very easy for those things to slip and get missed while you're working from home, because you're not in that your usual environment. Next thing I want to move on to is dress. So I spent a bit of time working at Facebook offices in London, and they're just, as you can imagine, they're all a bit kooky looking, they're all a bit kind of 1980s arcade game t-shirts. But if you normally wear an office a suit to the office, or very formally dressed, I'm not saying sit at your kitchen table in a suit and a tie, but at least make an effort. Get yourself out of bed in the morning, get yourself showered, and put on jeans and trainers at an absolute minimum, because you'll feel better about yourself, and if you feel better about yourself, you can be more productive. And that's what this is all about. It's about being productive and making the best of your working day. Rhythm. Okay, this is a little bit of a controversial subject, because if you generally work in your office between the hours of 9-5, do you then work specifically between 9-5 at home? Now, if you've got client meetings and colleague Skype calls and things like that you've got to do, then you largely need to structure your day around those hours. And if you've got a set number of working hours in your day, then realistically you need to be working those specific times. Now, the other side of that is your personal rhythm. Personally speaking, I'm more creative in kind of the early hours of the morning. So between sort of 4:45 and 6:30, if I'm doing anything really creative, so if I'm working on a book, if I'm writing articles, I find that I'm much better at performing those tasks at that time. And it's not just because the house is quiet, it's just kind of the way my brain's wired. I do come from a long family of larks where, if you were still in bed at 7 o'clock on a Sunday morning, even if you'd been on the smash the night before, then, you should be birched for such heinous behaviour. But, if I'm doing anything creative, then really I need to be doing it at that time in the morning. If I'm doing something that's more kind of logical, more kind of process driven, then the morning is the best time for me. And, from between the hours of sort of 7 and kind of lunchtime. So then I try to do those tasks at that time. If I'm doing things that are more sort of socially driven, so I've got to make calls, sales calls, anything like that, then I perform those better in an afternoon. So it's really important, and I'll try and structure it, if possible, at that time. Sometimes it's not possible for you to adhere completely to these guidelines, but treat them as guidelines, and if you can work in those basic parameters, you'll find that you're much more productive, and I found I'm much happier in doing that. And finally, moving on to ENDEX. For the non-military ones, ENDEX is army slang for end of exercise or completion of task. So when you've completed your tasks for your day, make sure that you close down your laptop, close down any work devices, and put a clear demarcation line between your work you and your home you. So at the end of the day, when you're finished, close up your laptop and do something that puts a clear break between work and home. So I don't know, get yourself showered, do some PT, have a coffee, watch TV for 10 minutes, do something different that puts a real line between the two parts of your persona. You'll find that will help reduce work encroaching into your home time, and in doing so you'll find that you're much happier. You won't resent your work, as prevent you from starting to resent your work, and in doing so it will make you more productive when you're actually doing your working tasks. And that's what this is all about. It's about making the best you. I hope you found this video useful. It is accompanied by an article that is on www.activeaaron.co.uk. Try some of these tasks. Tell me if you think they're useful. If you think they're shit and they've not worked for you, tell me that also. And if you've got any other life hacks regarding this particular subject, I would love to hear about it. Stay safe, everybody. Peace.